Hello, welcome back. So today I wanted to do a little recap of the live stream of like 'cause it happened yesterday, 1.3. They did the live, but I couldn't watch it live, so that's what I watched it like yesterday. So today I wanted to do a little recap in case you just don't want to sit through 40 minutes and you wanna get like a little recap, like okay, just tell me what's inside, right? So the live was pretty good. Like the content, we're gonna get a ton of content. I don't know how they manage every time they make us say, wow, this patch is probably gonna be the best. This patch is gonna be the best patch so far, because like they keep delivering and they keep increasing somehow the content every patch. And also some people address the fact that since the game is a little bit easier to manage and to make content for compared to Genshin, we should get a story every patch at least. Not a big story necessarily, but to get a continuation every patch. And it looks like this time they're sticking to that. They're actually doing that because we're getting a new story. So far, for what we saw, because they didn't show it, of course, we're gonna get a new story with Yukong in it. So it's probably gonna be something like a little bit more spiritual, because they talked about like the scene was like talking about sending off, saying goodbye to the deceased, and like sending them away with the star skiffs with their objects inside, like kind of a like rite of passing, stuff like that. So it's going to probably be a little bit more spiritual, but it is the main story. It's a trailblazer mission. So besides that, we're also going to get 4 companion missions. It's going to be Dan Heng, Luca, Lynx, and March 7. So in terms of story, that's what we're going to get, which is pretty good in my opinion. 4 companion quests, that's actually like double what we get usually. So temples, classic temples. I don't know why other games Genshin can do it. I don't know why they can't. It's just code the pulls in. I don't understand the problem. People are just gonna be happy, but I'll take it. They'll do it on Star Rail. I play both games. Pog, I guess. It would be nice to have it in Genshin as well. But moving on. First banner, Dan Heng. First banner is gonna be Dan Heng, Asta, Yukong, and March. Now, Yukong and March, I don't really care about too much. Maybe Yukong Constellation might be good. I've heard that she's good at E6. But I don't know if I... Like, to get E6 Yukong, you need to either get every time Yukong, or otherwise, I don't think it's going to be... Like, unless you fail the 50-50, you're not going to pull many times, right? And then Asta. I like Asta, and I would like to get more Eidolon. So I'm gonna hope, because I'm gonna roll for Dan Heng and try to get him. I mean, I have him guaranteed because I have 25,000 jades. Because I got lucky with Kafka. I got like 10 pull and I got Kafka. So okay, I don't know why. I fear that I might get unlucky on Dan Heng banner, Monka, but yeah. So Asta is good in my opinion. Like I'm interested in Asta. Second phase, Xuan with the new character Lynx, Hook, and Pela. I don't know why Pela every time. Just put someone else in, please. But Pela is really good. So if you didn't have the chance to get some Eidolons yet for her, from a reason or another, maybe you happen to skip exactly the banners what Pela was running. Maybe this is your chance to get some good ones now. I have Pela E6 since like 1.1. So for me, it's like, I guess it's like 1 pull every time that they give back with the Jades stellar thing. But yeah, moving on. First event is a new map, Oromale. And basically in this map, it's like a market district with like a lot of like vendors, stalls that you need to like manage, and by managing their resources, you make them get more money. Like you improve the network stuff. Like it looks like this, and the event is gonna conclude. After you conclude the event, you get a permanent version of it. And by doing the permanent version, unlocks a bigger reward track with multiple rewards, including Jades, self-modeling raising, I believe at least one. Yes, and free Su Shang, which is good, always good. Free characters, Pog. I wish it was Lynx, free Lynx, to be honest, because I would really like to get a Lynx from a Fushuan banner, but I don't spend money, so it's gonna be hard unless I get lucky on Daneng again. It's gonna be hard, but thank God they're so generous for now, and hopefully they will keep being so. And they give us like a lot of jades, a lot of like free pulls, free 10 pulls every patch, so you can kind of keep up if you don't get too unlucky. But yeah, so that was the first event. Now let's talk about what Dan Heng, Fushuan, and Lynx do. It's not gonna be super in depth because of course they just talked about it. They showed the gameplay when they were describing, but of course like the stats, the percentages, we don't have them. So we're gonna have to wait when to the day when they come out to actually check all the maths, and probably the beta. I don't know. Dan Heng. I'm sure you know at this point. Maybe you heard, maybe you had a dream on how it works. Basically, it's confirmed. Uses the enhanced basic attack, right? And it consumes 3 skill points, like stage 1 basic attack, stage 2, stage 3. Stage 2 and stage 3 is going to be AoE. The third one, of course, the fulgurant leap, it's called, like the maxed out basic attack, is gigantic AoE, insane damage. Is like, I believe the modifier is like 500% or something around that. So it's going to be extremely powerful. But of course, it consumes 3 skill points. Now, you might say, but Hoyo, why is Dan Heng so expensive? It's going to be hard to run a team with him because like no one can do anything. It eats 3 skill points every time if I want to do max attack. There is a mechanic that eases the burden of the skill points on Dan Heng gameplay. So basically, when you do the ult, you get 2 things called Squama Sacrosancta, and those squamas, squama is scale, I believe, in Latin or something like that. So let's call it scale. It gets like dragon scales below the ult, like the location, so you can track how many you have there. When you do the ult, you get 2. So those 2 scales can be consumed instead of skill points. So next time, after the ult, next time you attack, you have your turn, by using those 2 plus 1 skill point, you can get a free, quote-unquote, fulgurant leap, which only costs 1 skill point. That's gonna help a lot. Now, I don't know how big is his energy pool. Maybe there might be a build that includes like an energy recharge rope or something else that increases like his energy recharge so you get more ults. I don't know. Maybe that's not efficient. I have no idea. I was just thinking like now on the spur of the moment. But yeah, there's like this mechanic. On top of that, when you are outside of combat and use your talent, your technique. If you use your technique, you start dashing around and hitting every enemy. When you hit the enemy during this explosion dash, right? If you hit them, when you get into combat, you're gonna have 1 scale. So that one is gonna help like easing into combat. So that way it's not that skill point hungry. Fushuan is a tank. In the sense that like she's path of preservation, but she doesn't like do shields like the other tanks we know do, like Gepard or Trailblazer. Do a little bit of shield Trailblazer, but he tones. In Fushuan case, she does a matrix of prescience, I believe, right? A matrix on the ground, like, and that affects everybody. So when an ally gets hit, she gets a portion of the damage that they were intended to take. They still take damage, but Xuan like shares a bit of it. What happens is, after Xuan gets attacked and then gets attacked again, and her HP go below a certain threshold. I do not believe it's 50. It might be a little bit less. It looked like it was less than 50. She reverses time automatically. It's like Luocha auto heal. She reverses time automatically and she goes back into full HP. Or like, if it's not, it didn't look like it was scripted full HP, but it was very close to max HP in the gameplay that they showed. So it might be a set percentage or a set amount of HP, right? Scaling with something, maybe HP per HP stat. We'll see. So, okay, and so the ult is, it does damage and it increases reapplies the matrix, and it refreshes the talent, the rewind. So that's basically the concept of it. We don't know that much yet, so we're gonna have to wait and see. Lynx, even though she's a 4-star, her kit is pretty good. Like she's like, no joke, better than Bailu, which is kind of sad in my opinion, because I got Bailu when I started the game and it was like my main healer, because I never used Natasha, and then I got Luocha. So now I'm a Memory of Chaos. I'm using Luocha and then Bailu. But Bailu is falling off really hard. It's kind of sad because it's a 5-star healer, and like kind of doing it dirty, right? Like if you think about it, it's kind of weird. Like at least give Bailu a cleanse on the ult. Like the E is RNG. The ult, well, whatever. She's okay. She revives, but like if maybe a healer that heals and doesn't, you don't have to die to use the talent. Maybe that would be better. Okay, well, okay. Let's move on. I don't understand. It makes no sense for Bailu. Poor Bailu. But Lynx, the E is a healing, and on top of that, it increases max HP. On top of that, if the ally that you target is Path of Preservation or Destruction, they're gonna get a taunt, basically. I don't know if it's actually a taunt, but it's gonna increase, it's gonna put like a buff on them that increases the chance of being targeted by monsters. So it's kind of cool. And on top of that, after that, the ult is an AoE healing and cleanse. It cleanses 1 debuff on every ally, which is crazy because like Luocha has a cleanse, Natasha has a cleanse on the E, but Lynx has an AoE cleanse, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So those times when you have like 2, 3, you're fighting like Kokoli and Simulated Universe, and you get like frozen, three members frozen, and Lynx is not. Ult, boom, done. So, all right, that's pretty good. So the talent basically makes it so it adds a tiny regen on allies that you chose with E, and I believe also the ult. I'm not sure. I don't remember. We'll see, but just really good, just really, really good. That's why I want to like do some pulls and try to get her on the Xuan banner. It's gonna be like, I need to do that. Moving on into the big meat of the event, of the patch, Simulated Universe Omega Giga update, the Swarm disaster. So there's a whole new world here. The chess. First of all, there's a new type of gameplay where, like, instead of having a normal path of progression, like you do domain, then you do domain, then you do, oh, there's an occurrence, okay, oh, there's an event, boom, there's like domain after domain. It's just basically a straight line. Instead of doing that, you're gonna look at it, and it's gonna look like a chessboard. Basically, it's a hexagonal chessboard with like a lot of domains. There's going to be a lot of domains, and you can choose which one you want to go. Well, we go left, we go straight, we go right. And those, basically, it's going to be, every domain is going to have different buffs, different debuffs, different modifiers, different monsters in it, different types of monsters. When you do the domain, you're gonna be able to, when you finish it, you're gonna find a path, and you can choose the path, and like by choosing the path, it increases like the affinity with the Eon, and after you do enough of that, you're gonna at certain thresholds. Let's say you keep choosing the abundance path. By choosing the abundance path over and over and progressing the domains on this chessboard, by choosing every time to side with abundance, you're gonna get like multiple buffs for your team. So it retains the concept of like, oh, getting stronger and getting more buffs, but it expands and it gets more like a broader, more wide range, and you can multitask and do a little bit of abundance, and then you can do a little bit of this, and then you do a little bit of that. And by doing that, they also you also stumble upon modifiers that modify the future, like the next domains that you're about to approach. They're gonna give you some things to do, like some requirements. Oh, you can only join the domains that have this buff now, but if you do that, you get a buff. So it's going to be it's going to be a little bit complicated to get the gist of it at first. But I believe after you play for like a day, you're gonna be blasting through. And it's gonna be really fun because it's even more roguelike. You have more choices. Before it was still roguelike, but it was like a straight path if you think about it. We still have them. But with a new addition, we're gonna have a new path called the Path of Propagation, which focuses on enhancing basic attack. So Blade, Danheng, let's go. It's gonna probably be crazy for Danheng and Blade as well. Like, who else uses the attacks? I don't know. If you remember, tell me in the comments. New boss. The Swarm is like a big beetle. Looks like a beetle, as you can see. Looks like a big beetle, and he keeps like splitting. It keeps spawning ads. So I guess that's the trick. I don't know what all the faces do, but it's probably gonna be harder and harder. It's gonna like keep splitting, and maybe do some like AOE that like everybody's gonna attack. We'll see like exactly, but it's a new boss. On top of that, you know how we had like, oh, if you unlock this amount of cards, you get jades, you get rewards. Or if you unlock you can unlock these events, every event that you unlock, you get like some jades. We're gonna get something like that, but for this new update. So by exploring all the paths and all the modifiers and stuff, we're gonna get the same amount of like the same concept of jades. Now the good thing is that amongst those rewards, there are gonna be 2 modeling resin. So let's fucking go. After this event, there's like another secondary event, which is like you do assignments. They ask you to do assignments that are like it looks like the assignment window, but it's a little bit more in depth, a little bit. You just have like more modifiers, like they ask you to fill certain requirements, so you can't use every character, stuff like it's just a normal event. Give some jades, I'll take it as long as it gives jades. It's pog. 2 new stagnant shadows. 2, of course, get the ascending materials for Danheng and for Xuan. Simple as that. On top of that, the juicy quality of life everybody was waiting for. 200 stamina and cap increase from 180 to 240. This would mean that you only have to log in once, I believe, a day. You don't have to like re-log in later on to make sure that before you go to sleep, the stamina doesn't cap. So you need to do, you log in on the morning, let's say, and that's an example. You log in on the morning, you use your stamina, and then you log in at during the night before you go to sleep. Use a little bit more, but not all of it. In that way, you can sleep like 8 hours or something, and when you wake up, the stamina is not gonna be capped. This is gonna make it way easier to manage. I believe you only have to log in once a day, and we get a stamina reserve. So if you happen to fuck up and you're like, oh no, I was busy, I couldn't log in yesterday. Is my stamina capped? Yes, but you didn't waste any because the extra stamina that like was above the cap got put into a reserve. So if you played Honkai third, that's basically what it is. So if you don't play for a couple of days, you're still good. You're not wasting anything. I don't know. We don't know how big the reserve is. It might be 240, maybe more, might be less. They might even improve it even more, at least the reserve. So for now, we have a reserve. That's good enough to me. To end up HSR on Gamescom. So Gamescom looks like it's gonna be pretty crazy because we're gonna get ZZZ, we're gonna get HSR. There's other games that are really interesting that might appear during Gamescom. But that's it, guys. Hopefully it was clear enough. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. If this was of any help, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps a lot. And what else? See you next time.